Sidnee Michelle with Black Enterprise here for another episode of Lights Camera Business. I have two amazing businesswomen joining me, Lola and Vanessa Simmons. Welcome, ladies.
Thank you for
Thank
having
you. Thank you,
us.
Sidney, for having us.
Of course, we're here to talk about Vanessa becoming the new ambassador for Silver and Riley. But Vanessa, I want to start with you and even run it back before Silver and Riley. You've always been a fashion girl, but this partnership could be looked as your semi-return to the fashion industry. What had embarking on this process, what has it done for you just in 2024?
Um, like you said, it is like me getting my feet wet in fashion again. You know, my journey in fashion began many years ago. I've always been a fashion girl, I've always enjoyed fashion, love fashion, but my entrepreneurial side of fashion began with the company I started with my sister, Pastry, and that was more like streetwear. This is more luxury, so it's definitely a step up, I feel like, and something completely new for me in that respect. And I'm excited. I get a built-in mentor through Lola, being, working alongside Lola, which has been amazing because she is such a force and such an amazing businesswoman, and she pushes me to be my absolute best. So it's been a really exciting journey so far, and I've learned a lot working alongside her. And it's just exciting being able to see the behind the scenes of fashion again, the production of it all, like all of the different details that go into creating a brand. So I'm very excited to be on board, and I'm like a student, so it's incredible.
I love that. I love that. You talked about pastries, which you started with your sister. And I wanted to ask you to draw parallels between this process and your process with pastries. As you mentioned, I kind of feel like pastries was just the perfect product for that era. You know, I was watching you guys and I definitely had my pastries at home. It was the perfect product for that era. You know, you guys were beautiful, young, successful women. But now, as a bit older, more mature businesswoman, I think Silver and Riley is the perfect pairing. As you mentioned, it's luxury, it's travel, and I think that just aligns with your journey personally. Talk to me about like the parallels between pastries and now Silver and Riley.
Yeah, well, Silver and Riley definitely effortlessly blends in with my lifestyle. I'm definitely a woman on the go. I really appreciate a really good piece of fashion. And I feel like the Silver and Riley pieces are timeless pieces, things that I'll be able to pass down to my daughter. And not only I'm very intentional about the partnerships I take on. And I was intentional with partnering with Lola and with the Silver and Riley brand because I feel like it effortlessly blends into what my lifestyle is and the example I want to pass on to my daughter. And being able to pass on fashion pieces, that's just like the icing on the cake, literally. So I think that this is a great partnership in a way that I'll be able to grow as a businesswoman. And just like I said, I love being involved in fashion. So any parallel that I feel like aligns with who I am, I'm gonna jump at that opportunity. So
I love that. And I think it was just the perfect selection as you being the ambassadors. Lola, I wanted to speak to you about that as the founder. You know, we see a lot of times, especially in these days, where brands pick ambassadors for different reasons, but really an ambassador to a product could sometimes make or break a product. Talk to me about the selection process and wanting to work with Vanessa and why she
Yeah.
made, you know, basically the ideal candidate ambassador for
Why
Silver
she
and
was
Riley.
the perfect candidate. Yeah. Yeah, I love it. So, Vanessa is someone that, like you, I've watched her growing up essentially on TV and just, just knowing her family, for a long time. And so when I was conceptualizing the brand, It stands for all those things that Vanessa mentioned, classic, timeless pieces that luxurious and really speak to, the modern woman that also wants to have a classic piece that's going to transcend time. And I was thinking about who I wanted to work with, who would be ideal to work with as a brand ambassador. Vanessa was always at the top of that list. And, so I just really love everything that she represents, as a mother, as a businesswoman, as a citizen of the world, and just who she is, her polish, her ambition, and all those things that she brings to the table. And I just feel like she really epitomizes the Sylvan Riley woman, right? So I initially, put her on my list. I was like, there's no way we'll be able to connect. This is a wish list. But then in 2022, I reached out to her team and said, we wanted to really work with her on a collaborative basis on a photo shoot. And we worked through everything and it happened. And it was just like, I felt like it was God. It was like this manifestation of, this brand that's happened for me, but then also working with the person that I really wanted to work with, that I saw as a perfect embodiment of the prototypical Sylvan Riley woman in terms of just, her ambition, her, just who she is, her characteristics, right? And so we came together for that photo shoot. It was excellent. Went really, really well. Everything flowed swimmingly. And so from there, we hit it off and we formed a friendship and just stayed in touch and, followed each other on Instagram and just will show each other love going forward. And so when I started thinking about, okay, who do I want to work with on a continuous basis and have a longer term partnership? Of course, Vanessa was like top of mind because we already built that relationship and established something that worked out really well for me personally, but also for the brand because she brought a lot of fresh eyes to the brand, a lot of new followers, a lot of new customers, and just everything that you want as a brand, right? So when you have a collaboration, you hope that you're going to get some amazing results from it, and that was like what we got from working with Vanessa. So I was like, it made absolute sense to work together in a longer term partnership. And so we talked about that and it just worked really well. And so I'm super excited about this partnership. Is again, it's like we were able to build a solid foundation for us to work together on, and it's in perfect alignment for both of us because again, the vision I've had for the brand and also just who she is and who she represents and what she likes, it's all in alignment. So I think sometimes some brands may want to go for whatever it is, like the most trending person right now or the most whatever, right? And sometimes it's not in alignment with your brand, right? Because they don't represent the product well or they don't even like the products, they're just doing it for a check, and you can kind of see through that. And so I'm very blessed and just grateful to God that all of those things are not the case when it comes to working with Vanessa. So everything positive has been the case with working with her. So yeah.
I love
Yeah.
to hear that. I love a really like organic collaboration story. I think those like produce the best results when it's just not forced, and the two of you all just loved each other's aesthetic and just vibe, which made it easy to collaborate. So
Exactly.
I actually really love that. Congrats on a perfect pick, Lola.
Thank you.
Vanessa, Vanessa,
Congratulations to both of us. I think
congratulations. Absolutely. Vanessa, just to close, I wanted to speak with you. You kind of segued into my final question just about continuing legacies. When I spoke with Rev Ra and we actually talked about how we got to see on camera during Run's house the process between pastries and the process that you and Angela took. And that was so cool just seeing a family be involved in a business together. But now, as you've joined Silver and Riley, and even with your other endeavors, you're continuing that legacy for your own family. Talk to me about that and how Silver and Riley plays into just continuing the business legacy, both from the Simmons family that we all have grown to love, but also for your family going forward, Vanessa.
Yeah, well, when we started pastry, it definitely was getting into the family business. At the time, my dad had run athletics, which is what pastry was produced under. So my dad was already doing the sneaker, and Fat Farm had the Fat Classic, and so we were continuing the family legacy. And with my partnership with Silver and Riley, her brand is also a legacy brand. So it's just the perfect segue, perfect company to be working with to help build up her legacy through her legacy brand. So, yeah, it's just important to be involved with things that will, stand the test of time, and to be able to just transcend the moment that we're in right now, and to be able to tell a story. And so, legacy is very important to me, and I'm honored to be able to do that with Lola and the Silver and Riley brand.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Can I just
Awesome.
add
Well,
to that, Sidney? So,
absolutely.
that yeah, so the topic of legacy is so important. And, honestly, when I also looked at Vanessa and her family, like you said, the legacy that Rev Run has been able to build and just, create for generations to come. Like generations to come is going to know who Rev Run is. And so just being a part of that legacy is amazing, right? Well, not me being a part of it, but just him building that legacy. And so when I was thinking about creating my brand. I've always had the vision of a legacy brand. I've always had the vision of how do we create generational wealth? How do we make sure that we're creating something that transcends us? So Silver and Riley is not about me. I mean, it's great if it works out for me, but it's really about what I'm creating for, my generations to come, my community, and also the impact that I want to have in the world. So when I think about a legacy brand, it's the products, but it's also the brand itself, so creating products for sure that transcends time, but also what do you represent? What impact do you want to leave behind, when you're no longer here? So, everything that I think about when I think about legacy, relates to that. So it's about, creating something that is impactful, that touches people in a good way. So operating your business well, doing right by others, and also, creating amazing products as well. So, again, that's just another way that Vanessa fits really, really well into that, because her whole family is a legacy family. They're all about creating impact on people's lives, positive impact. So many of us watched her family growing up, and just know of her family and all the things that they've been able to do to impact lives. So it's just a perfect tie-in, because I absolutely believe that when it comes to products and creating brands, as a black woman run brand, and also as a black woman partnership, we absolutely have to be thinking about that. It's not just a one-time thing where we're just trying to do a business. And that's okay too. It's more so for us, though. It's really about creating something that transcends time, and is able to create positive impact way after we're no longer in the picture.
Yeah. And if I
Awesome.
can add, the brand also is an advocate for other female entrepreneurs. She has a
Mm.
program that's also attached to the brand called the Buy One Give Five.
Buy one, get five. Yep.
Yes,
Yep.
program that, through each sale, she creates a fund that gives back to female entrepreneurs to be able to go ahead and fund their dreams as well, which I think is really important and speaks directly to the legacy, not just being for her, but for being for her community, which I think is amazing and something that I resonate with so well. So I just wanted to add that in because I think that it's such an important part of her business.
I love
And I
that.
think
And
that was like one of
congrats.
the first things that we talked about, like that buy one get five program. And I remember like your eyes and your energy just perked up, and I just was like, this is the right partnership, because she not only aligns with the brand and just the represent, it's also the mission and just giving back, and being able to. So I've heard it feedback from people like, oh, why don't you wait till you're successful before you start giving money away? And I've always believed in build as you climb, right? So
Mhm.
from the very beginning, that program was there. So whether we were making one sale or making 1,000 sales, like we're always going to give back 5%. That number is constant, right? So I believe in partnership in that. I mean, I believe in community collaboration in that way, and just making sure that we're supporting others, because we are beneficiaries of other people that have built, for us to climb, right? So there's been so many women, so many people that have been able to create these positive pathways that we walk on and we enjoy today. So it's absolutely imperative that we do the same. So when I shared that with Vanessa and she was just so all in on that, I was like, this is my girl. This is the right partnership. And so it was just butter from there.
I love that. Again, I love organic partnerships. I just love when it just matches and it just works. But just to close, here at Black Enterprise, we love to offer advice. You all even spoke about it just a little bit about the next generation of entrepreneurs, the next generation of fashion entrepreneurs, and so on. And I would like to ask both of you if you could give a piece of advice to that young woman or man who wants to be an entrepreneur, who wants to be an entrepreneur in the luxury space, which is not necessarily the easiest avenue to take. Vanessa, I wanted to start with you. Talk to me about advice you would give, young people, especially young Black women, especially who, want to center family, who want to center their passions, but who also wants to make a way financially for their families as you have. Talk to me about just some advice you would give them to help them along their journey.
Just to let their faith lead the journey and
Mm,
to put fear to the back end and to just have a plan and go for it. Don't think that anything is above you or any space is, there's not space for you within the industry that you want to enter. Just have a plan, be efficient, and go forward, and do not be afraid to pivot. Things are not always going to go according to plan, so it's important to be able to pivot in the moment and don't let those things that you consider failure crush you. Just use them as lessons and crutches to just keep up, keep going, keep moving. And also the power in rest. We're in a culture right now where it's do, achieve, quick,
amen.
fast. Social media showing everyone's highlight reels, and you're like, oh God, I have to catch up. But there's power in rest too. So, in those moments when you feel like you may be burned out a little bit, take a beat, take a step back, and there's power in that so that you can come back with a full cup to just really, crush those goals. So, yeah, leave fear to
I
the
love
back,
that.
be willing to pivot, and there's power in rest. That would be my
I hope
advice
you
for the
guys are
youth.
taking notes once this
Yes,
drops.
it better be.
Lola, tell me
That
a
was
piece of
wisdom.
advice. Just as
Yeah,
a Black
amazing.
entrepreneur, just everything you embody, just launching a new business, you've done it in such a way that really sets the standard. Talk to me just a piece of advice for those who want to follow in your footsteps.
Yeah, I love all the stuff that Vanessa just said. Yes, yes, yes to everything. From the brand perspective, I'm not going to sugarcoat it, because on social media, it's like, oh, be your own boss or whatever. Entrepreneurship is hard. You have to
Hard.
have the vision. You have to have the end state in mind because that's what's going to get you through, the daily trauma that you're going to experience sometimes. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. It's hard, but when you know your why, you know your North Star, you know why you're doing this. This is not, especially if you're building a brand. And, again, you can just go for building a business that's going to make money in the short term, and that's completely fine. We deserve to be in every space, right? So whether it's those kind of business opportunities or you're thinking about a long-term legacy brand, if you decide to build a legacy brand, just know that you have to be in it for the long run. It's not an overnight thing, right? You're going to have pitfalls. Like Vanessa said, you're going to have some failures, you're going to have challenges, along the way. But you have to know your why. And, you have to have, whether it's faith in a higher power or whatever it is, faith in yourself. I believe in God. So for me, it's my faith in God that like really propels me to keep going day after day, setback after setback, and just keep going because again I have faith in the end state, right? So I know I see that vision. You have to believe in that vision before anybody else does, because if you're wavering in that vision and your belief in it, it's never going to happen. So see it even when things are not percolating or happening as you want it to, right? You're going to have some setbacks, you're going to have some days where you're going to feel gut punched, and you're just going to have but then also you're going to have some amazing wins as well. So make sure you're celebrating your wins, no matter how small you think they are. They're important because that's also what keeps you motivated, because a human being cannot survive if you just get setback. You have to have some wins that you're celebrating, right, as well. So celebrate every moment and just cherish your journey. The journey is the most important part of it. And keep that vision in mind, and just know that you're capable of doing anything you put your heart to and your mind to, and you're not excluded from anything. So be audacious in your goals and just know that you deserve to achieve them just like anybody else. There's nothing that's bigger than you. You're just as big as anything. As long as you put your mind to it and you're ready to work for it, you can achieve anything that you put your mind to.
Amen. Amen.
Just
What
love
a
hearing you
perfect
talk.
way to end.
Thank you.
Thank you, ladies, so much. Everyone watching this, thank you guys for joining us. Please, please, please go check out Silver and Riley with Vanessa Simmons as the new ambassador. All my travel girls, my luxury girls. It is such amazing line. And I can't wait to see what the future holds for it.
Yes. Thank you
Thank you,
so
ladies,
much
so
for your
much for your
time.
time
Thank
today.
you.
And I can't wait to get my hands on some Silver and Riley. I'm very excited.
Yes. Yay. Thank you,
All right,
Sidney. Really
Vanessa
appreciate
Simmons, Lola, founder of Silver and Riley, thank you guys so much. You guys are definitely powerful business women that we can all learn from. Thank you for joining me today. And until next time, I'll see you guys.